Are you a Gen Xer who's behind on the retirement game? Like you feel like you might have to work until you're 90? If so, you're not alone. My name is Celeste, and that's what I'm talking about today. We are the sandwich generation, right? A lot of Gen Xers are still taking care of their kids and also now taking care of their parents. I learned a lot while taking care of my mom and thought a lot about how do I want to retire and what am I going to need for retirement because I'm way behind. I have worked a ton of jobs, low paying jobs, that I didn't get any retirement from. So I'm playing catch up. And so, here's the thing Gen Xers, we were the last ones to grow up without computers. We're resourceful, we're adaptable, we're problem solvers, and it's not too late, and we're not too old. There are so many people that have made money monetizing their skills, and we all have skills. We've been working, so I know I have been working since I was a teenager. And after, let's call it 40 plus years of being in the workforce, I have gathered a lot of skills, and all of us have, and we can monetize them. There's so many more ways to make money online. I watched a video last night of this woman who was talking about affiliate marketing, and there's TikTok, and there's Instagram, and there's blogging, there's newsletters, there's so many different ways. I just think Gen Xers were conditioned to you either work for someone else and you by the time we retire we're exhausted, or you start your own business and you by the time you retire you're exhausted. Instead of like kids today, millennials and Gen Z have this stuff figured out. They're like on their phones starting new businesses every day, so we can learn from them because we have the skills, we have the experience, we just don't have the technology. At least I know that's my hang up. So but, for those of us who have minimal savings and maybe we still have a mortgage and we have kids to pay for and our parents need help and all of this, there are solutions. One of the ones I talked about in a video the other day, which I will um, put a link in, is that we live with our friends. Instead of an overly expensive retirement village or community, you get a few of your friends together who you really like to be around, and then you move into whether it's a tiny home situation or a fourplex or an eightplex, and then you share the costs of other services, whether it's, meal planning or transportation or on-site care. As we get older, we need more care. But these are things that could be shared expenses versus, paying $10,000 a month that's all inclusive in a retirement community where you're around people, a lot of people you don't necessarily know. So moving in with your friends is good for your social connection. It's good for your brain. Financially makes sense. That would be the benefit of moving in with your friends. If you wanted to continue to work, but say you don't want to continue to work at the job you currently have, that's what I'm saying. You could find something, a way to make money online to, and people are making so much money. It's insane. Like I watch so many videos about YouTubers, TikTokers, Instagram people. They are making so much money because they figured it out. They took the time to learn, and that's what I've been doing for the last couple of years is trying to educate myself on different ways of different income streams that you can get, sitting at home instead of going out into the world and in traffic like we've been doing all our whole lives. No wonder we're exhausted. Also, as we get older, you have to understand the importance of downsizing and thinning out all that you own. The think of how much easier it is to move around with less stuff you have. But what happens is most people wait until they're old, like really old, before they start getting rid of stuff or making the move into a smaller place. Start thinking about it now. You don't have to do it now, but start planning it now so you have an idea of what would you do with all this stuff. Do you want to keep a big house? Do you want to move into a smaller place? There's a lot of different things to think about, but it makes sense to wait to do it now as opposed to waiting another 10 years where it all will be harder to do. Everything's going to be a little more difficult 10 years from now, physically, I mean. And why does this make sense from a brain standpoint of view? First of all, financial stress is toxic for your brain. So sharing the expenses as you get older, just it makes sense and it's healthy for you. You have community. You won't have the financial strain of trying to meet, between $6,000 and $10,000 a month at a retirement community. If you own a house, you could sell your house and that could pay for your new little living situation in a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment. So much easier to manage. So more friends, fewer bills, better brain. If you think that's a good idea, because it seems to have gotten a lot of support. I made a TikTok video about it and a short on YouTube, and it got a lot of support. Start talking to your friends now, or talk to your partner now, and think about who would you want to live with. Family, friends. Where you could be independent but still be part of a little community. Start planning now. You won't regret it, because when people wait too long to plan this stuff, and it just makes things more difficult. And if you like this video, please subscribe. I'll be doing more videos about Gen X and our challenges. I'll be talking about the things I've learned from becoming a certified brain coach. And of course, I'll always try to bring in entertainment value. See you next time.